guys, how we doing? We're
That's
here today
me,
with one of our favorite Canadian artists, and
Matt Daddy,
actually
baby.
a good friend of ours now too. And you know him from the two covers he's done for us, and I'm sure many of the others he's done. So without further ado, here's
Hugh,
Hugh. We're
That's
here today
me.
with one.
I met you
Well,
in
my
person
name is
yet. We
Hugh
actually
Rookwood.
met you the
I'm a
Halloween
freelance
weekend, and you
illustrator.
were at that point
I
just
got
kind
a
of
small
still
studio
still
called
doing last
Chosen
minute sketching
Studios.
for the Swamp
I'm
Dogs.
here out
But
of
why don't you
Airdrie,
tell us
Alberta.
about yourself a little bit? Tell
Originally
everybody who you are,
Toronto
what you
kid
do,
out of
and your
Scarborough, but I
jam.
moved out to Airdrie, Alberta about what now? 4 years now. I've been out here, and it's just been amazing. And yeah, I've been just a freelance illustrator, doing a lot of different stuff here and there over the years. Um, yeah, and right now I've been doing a lot of variants. Obviously, two for the Nat Daddy Massive, which has been awesome. Just did we
Yeah.
just did a children's
Well,
book
and
with
I
Red
think you're
Barn
kind of
Books
being a little humble
called
there.
Hobby.
You're
I'm
leaving
John
out
Verne, and
your
it won Children's Book of the
award-winning
Year and
child book
Heritage Book
or
of the Year,
children's book there that you
and
did
have
this
another
year.
children's book coming out, Howdy, I'm Florence Ledoux, and that's coming out in March with Red Barn Books also. And hopefully, let's see if lightning strikes twice, and we win for that too. But that'd be awesome.
Yeah, it was. I was very lucky that when you were in town, I grabbed a copy, the
Well, thank
foil
you
on
very
there
much. Like,
saying
I
you're award
appreciate
winner, and
all the support for
I
Red
don't have
Barn.
any kids around for
It's been
Tyler's an
awesome.
adult, and
It's been
hopefully there's no
a
kids around
great
here for quite
journey.
a while.
It
But
was
I got
something
got
that
I got
you
myself a
know
copy just because no,
I
I
really feel
respect the
really
work.
proud about, because it's like something for the kids, something for the children, some
hmm
history, something that can you know help to grow the next generation, and I'm really happy about that.
And that was what I liked about your book too. It focuses on some history, some Canadian history, and even in the next book too, it's same thing as well too. Just more history stuff going on, and there's nothing wrong with like kids books, like silly
Well,
kids books
the,
and
the
stuff
key
like
thing
that.
is
But
to try to
I always
bring
think
some
a
fun to
good
it,
educational book that's
and
entertaining for kids
have kids just it
is
in a real way.
I
beneficial to
still
Oh,
not.
thought it
did
was
my
pretty
camera just
fun.
go, or can
Yeah,
you see me?
exactly. So
Okay.
I respect that
Okay,
part too.
yeah.
So
And kids really digest the information in a real fun and interesting way. I think that's what we managed to do
uh,
with John Ware.
no, it's
And
back
you're
now.
going to
You're
see
good.
even more fun in Florence Ledoux. So
That's very awesome. Now, we got the that stuff out of the way, the serious stuff. Let's get into, like you said, the fun
oh,
stuff. What are you going to be drawing for us today?
you know what? I'm not
Yeah,
going to tell
it
you.
was very good. So you made a little
What
bank
I'm
off
going to
that, so
do
that's
is,
awesome.
as we talk,
Um, what I
I'm
was gonna
going
say there
to
too is,
just let the drawing
what are you gonna
start to
do?
come
Like, what
out,
are you
and
drawing
then
for us
see
tonight?
what you guys, guess as it's starting
Oh,
to come
okay.
out.
Well,
Knowing how fast Hugh draws, it's probably gonna
yeah.
be done in about 10 minutes
Yeah,
anyway.
and that was a point I was gonna say there too before I got sidetracked. Is you're known for being like an incredibly fast artist, but the art you put out is still like top notch. So I mean, it's pretty cool. Like when I was watching you at the show, and I've watched you lots on the tags events as
I
well too.
just,
It's
you
like
know what it
you're
is?
almost like one of
I
those
came
3D
from that
printers.
era where you
The
just
way
had
the
to,
way your hands moving and it's
you
just
had to
flowing
be
out of you
quick.
there. It's
You know
pretty
what I'm
tremendous to
saying? You had to
watch.
be fast. Like now with like Photoshop and other tools, like in a digital medium, you get to, oh, okay, I'll just drop in this or I'll just drop in that, right? But I come from that era where you had to really be able to draw everything. You had to be able to do textures and create effects and with pencil and stuff. So,
Right,
when you're thinking about you had to get pages done, you had to be able to do
right.
at least, if you wanted to keep a schedule, you're going to have to be able to do at least two pages, or at least 1.5 pages a night, if you were going to be able to keep a schedule, in comics. So getting to, and I got the privilege of working with guys like Ken Lashley and stuff like that, and just seeing how they
Right.
operate and seeing how they work and stuff like that, and being able to touch a few things. It was like, okay, so you just had to, and that it just kind of developed over time. You kind of get to understand what is necessary and what isn't necessary when you're trying to put down something fast. You just getting the most important things.
And another thing that feeds into that, and it's another quality that you're known for, is the fact that you can draw anything. Like you don't have one particular style. No, you can draw anything, and in multiple styles of work too. Like not some of it looks
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
like I'm sure this Batman's gonna look very heavy Batman like. You can do cartoon stuff. Like
Well,
Tyler
you know
has
what it
the
was?
Rick
Because
and
I'm
Morty
a
cover up as
freelance
well. Yeah, so
illustrator,
you can do that too,
right?
and then you can do things
And the
like
first
the
priority,
Transformers stuff. You
is
you
to,
had
you
the
got to get
Amazing
work, right?
Transformers,
So
Back to the Future cover
I
there as
don't
well.
have the
So I mean, you
I
can
don't
cover
have the
almost every
luxury of
genre
just saying,
of
oh, I
comic
only
art.
draw this way and that's it, right? Because work comes in many different ways, right? So, like, I mean, I've designed corporate logos to doing
Hmm.
storyboards, you know what I'm saying? And designing toys. I mean, I got to work with Marvin Mariano doing the Star Wars Transformers line on a couple of them, and one of my designs got used for one of the toys. And I mean, so you just had to be
Right.
versatile, and coming from an animation background too, because I did animation at Sheridan College. And in animation, uh I didn't pursue it after I left school hard because I was really just loving comics and all that kind of stuff. But you know if you want to work in an animation company, my teacher used to say, the best compliment you could get is that you're a chameleon, because when in animation so many different styles come up, you got to be able to flip styles, right? And so my mind has always been, hey, I gotta be versatile, right? What it
Well,
is like, I
and for
just
even
don't
just
feel
our two
like
covers alone for
every
the
like
Chicken Devil and the
sometimes
Swamp Dogs,
I
they're
see
two totally
styles
different pieces
going
of
into
art.
something and it's like that style kind of doesn't work for that genre. You know what I'm saying? Like that feel doesn't work for that genre. And so I've always felt like sometimes the style just has to fit the genre.
Uh-huh.
And you're doing a Rick and Morty, but then you're trying to draw them like realistic. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like it just works. And so I just feel like, in that regards, I want to try to
Right.
capture
People don't want to
as
see that
much
necessarily.
of the essence of what it is, but
Yep.
still try to put my flavor into it. So what my flavor then becomes in a situation like that is whatever I design in composition or just a certain energy that I bring to the table, right? So that's how I look at it.
Okay, and so then like when we show like our Chicken Devil
Mm-hmm.
cover, like that again too, it's a beautiful piece of art, but it still looks like no comic book or cartoon art. But then we show, I'm gonna get Tyler to show up your Department of Truth cover here. So, but then you show your Department of
Yeah.
Truth cover there, and that is like that doesn't even look
Yep.
like art. That looks like painting or photo stuff in that.
Yes,
And
sir.
I don't
Yes,
know if you can still
sir.
see us on the screen or
And is
not,
that a
Hugh. But if if
9.8?
you take a peek at the screen there, look what I got.
A 9.9. Oh, look at you.
Yeah, I got the 99 of your book there signed. So, yeah, and again, that big piece there, like I've seen your work multiple times before I met you and before we started talking about doing the covers and that.
Yeah.
And each time I saw a piece of your work, I didn't know it was your work
Again,
at
like
first because again, every style was so
Department
different.
of Truth again was one of those situations where it was just kind of like it was a feel. Like when I saw the book and the book was so stylized, you know what I'm saying? And then the concept and the story behind
Uh-huh.
it and stuff, it's a feel. So when we started to get into the whole thing about conspiracies, I was like, this is not like a superhero genre book, So this was actually another chance for me to
No.
just kind of show my other side when it comes to artwork.
Yeah, it struck. It was awesome. And I could be wrong, and maybe it's just a story that is we're not allowed to tell. I can't remember because I remember you telling it that evening that we were all kind of celebrating after the convention there. But didn't you have to change this cover a little bit and take one of the people out or put somebody in? Like
Yeah, actually,
I don't yeah.
originally I had. So what I was trying to do was, like, again, with the whole conspiracy thing, was trying to connect the book in a lot of ways and a lot of the imagery. So if you really look at the imagery there's about 5 or 6 different conspiracy theories in that whole imagery, if you really look at
Yeah,
it and see, you have the flat Earth
yeah,
thing, the first man on the moon, uh, JFK's death, Martin Luther King's
yeah,
death,
yeah.
you know. I forget, I gotta remember the image again. And then the connection between JFK and Martin
Right,
Luther
yeah,
King. And so you just got, I wanted to try to tie, like when you looked at the image, I wanted to make sure that you tied like a lot of different things into it. Originally, I had, okay, so I originally had Abraham Lincoln and then Martin Luther King, kind of like the tie of like Abraham
yeah,
Lincoln and,
yeah. The slaves.
the freedom
Yeah,
of slaves to Martin Luther King. And then they said, it was actually the creators that saw my image and they were like, oh yeah, they liked that piece. And they said, oh, but instead of
Link.
Abraham Lincoln, do JFK. And I said, yeah, actually, you know what? That's cool. That's an even closer tie,
Yeah,
right? So then I just did, and then we did that. But it was a real chance for me to just really do a real stylized imagery, and something that, people don't normally see me do,
right. And again, it
And
was awesome.
it's one of my favorite pieces. I really
Yeah, I
enjoyed it.
agree too. It's one of my favorite pieces of. I love it. I love bringing all your work to attention because no, I think you deserve to get the attention. But
Oh, thank you for
but
helping me.
don't get too popular though, because I still want to use you as much as possible for our cover works and stuff. So,
Oh man, I don't trust me on that. I never forget the people who help
hmm
me, and the people who help me in life, they're always main priority to me. Like,
yeah,
building this relationship with you guys has been great, and I definitely look forward to doing a lot more, and you guys call on me and I'm
well,
there,
I have some good
as long as you
news.
have me.
As long as COVID kind of lets us, we or I will at least. I don't know about Tyler, depending on his schedule. And that I'll be coming out to Calgary in April there for the con.
That's going to be awesome. You guys are going to come to my house and break bread
Okay,
and come eat some food. It's going to be awesome,
awesome. That's cool.
Sorry, I'm getting a little bit of glitchiness going on. Sometimes the camera's
Yeah,
kicking out.
no,
Sometimes it's
That's
kicking in. I
no,
okay.
don't know why it's
yeah,
doing
and you've
that.
been fine.
It's a
Don't
little
worry,
bit,
it's all good. It clicks out, it clicks in.
you
No
know.
good. We're all good.
you know, hey, that's me. Hey, people. And then I'll try and see what's going on again. Yeah, it's just doing stupidness, man. I
Yeah, that's
apologize.
okay. No worries. Um, What else was I gonna say? Do you have any stuff that's coming out in the next little bit that you wanna you can tell us about, or everything's still under hush hush still, or
Well, either than the children's book stuff that I had just mentioned, um, the only other thing that I'm allowed to mention.
right?
So on top of our other issues we were having, apparently Hugh's audio cut out here. So I believe what he was talking about was the pound that he's working on with Stefan, and then his new book as well. So you like last year, you you had
Mhm.
released, or I guess had released like a pretty stellar year. Like you had a lot of stuff coming out.
Yeah, it was really good. Enough respect to you guys. Enough respect to Big
Yeah,
Country. You know, Justin, Stefan, Leanne. Like enough respect to all you guys. Like, yeah, you guys have been keeping me on track, and it's been awesome. And yeah, a lot more coming.
that's
you
cool.
know,
You might want to check your camera a little bit. You've been out for a little bit.
is
Yeah,
it
the
off?
camera's off for a little bit now. Yeah, yeah.
Oh wow, that's
Okay,
wild because it's showing up
okay.
here, but it's not showing with you
Not at the
guys, eh?
moment. Just got the Skype screen.
Let me just see what's going on. Okay, is it back
Not
on?
yet. Now you're on. You're
Now it's
on now.
on.
Yeah.
All right. I
Hey,
apologize. We've been having signal issues where
that's
I'm at.
okay. They were having issues
They
last night on the tag show as well too. Like everything's stupid nowadays, man. So
Well, I don't know what it is. I think I'll be honest with you. I think they're telling us like um our our time for renewal has
Oh,
come,
okay.
and I think they're purposely jacking up our Wi-Fi to make us go with the
You
higher
would you
package. You
know
know
what?
what
It
I'm
wouldn't
saying?
surprise me nowadays there. So I can see some of the artwork coming in there. You definitely got Batman in there. Are you gonna
Yes,
have
sir.
Batman like roughing up a couple of Nat Daddy boys there or uh,
No, no Batman roughing up that daddy
oh
boys,
okay.
but you know what? That's something I could definitely do as a as a commission piece at one point, definitely
Well
for
that's
sure.
cool.
But okay, you know what? I'll let it go a little bit longer and see if
Yeah, that's fine.
you
That's cool.
recognize.
So
I'll let it go a little bit longer and see if you guys
So,
recognize.
Hugh, what is your favorite like type of art to do? Like, do you prefer to do the superhero stuff? I know I've seen you do like the like robot stuff, the transformery type stuff. I've also seen you do like your children's book stuff. What is your favorite to do?
Honestly, it's um like it's the superheroes, the Transformers, all that kind of stuff. It's like all that stuff I grew up on. So all of that stuff for me is amazing and fun to do.
Uh-huh.
It doesn't really there's no real like, oh, I gotta do some superheroes. Like, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? It's like I grew up on all of that, like comic books,
yeah.
um, anime, all that kind of
A-
stuff. That's all stuff I grew up
and
on, right? So I
wrestling, right?
enjoy
You're a
all of
big
it.
wrestling guy, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
too.
and I
Yeah,
know
grew up on
me too.
wrestling.
So me
You
me
know,
and you both love wrestling. We both love like the classic stuff and that. So I'm thinking that whenever we do another cover, I think we're gonna
mhm,
have like a wrestling homage cover somehow, no matter what the issue is. Yeah.
sure. I'm like, I'm down for which, what, whatever. The key thing is like, in all of this, is like bringing your
Hmm.
voice to whatever it is that you're doing, and that's one of the cool things that I like. What's been nice about doing the variants and stuff like that is just people kind of get to see my take on things, and that's been awesome,
Well, I think for yourself, especially again being such an amazing fast artist, uh, when I started seeing a lot of your stuff was the tag show. You know, doing the
Hmm.
coasters and that, and I mean, no disrespect to the other artists on the show. I mean, they'll do like two or three coasters a night, but man, you're cranking out six or seven
Honestly, I think
sometimes. Like
that one night you put out 7. It was
yeah,
crazy.
and it's not like it's no less work or anything. I mean, your stuff comes out, it's inked and not even like it's again it blows me away because we have quite a few of your coasters actually. So
Yes,
yeah,
sir. It's again, I mean, it's just one of those things. For me, it's just I had to learn to be fast. Um, and being freelance, because I had to make money. You can't be sitting on something a long, long, long time. You have
yeah,
to
for sure.
get it done and get it out the door,
Yeah,
right? And so again, you just start to develop certain things and a feel for certain things, and okay, you know what, I don't need to put as much rendering in this part. I don't need to,
yeah.
I can delineate with just a few lines here and it'll still give the same impact. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
what I
So
tell Tyler. That's called old man smarts. Like when it comes to sports and
yeah,
stuff like that.
it's
Like you've learned over the years
yeah,
to be
it's
efficient and no use that that turbo or whatever only when you need to instead of being a young guy and just relying on that, right? So
yeah, exactly. It just becomes one of those things that through time and consistency in work, you just develop that, okay, you know what, I just need to do this, I can put down this and it will give the same effect. And that's really where that boils down to. And you have to build up a certain confidence too in your line work and understanding,
uh-huh.
line and
Sure.
and everything. My teacher, always my life drawing teacher, amazing, amazing dude. He used to always tell us, like every line that you put down tells a story. Every line that you put down should have a meaning. There should be a reason why you did a line a certain
Okay.
way. And so I'm very much about thick and thins and tapering, and sometimes I will let a line not even, I won't even connect lines. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
I'll just let it, taper off and then pick it up, a few millimeters later,
Yeah. I know you got a couple young guys there at your house, some young gentlemen growing up in that.
Yes, sir.
What do they think, or how do they feel of their dad being a comic book artist, or is it to them not a big deal because they've just been around it their whole lives? Like,
Nah, I mean, I guess right now, like they're just used. They know that's just what I do. Like they see me doing, cool stuff like this, and it's just kind of like what I do right now.
yeah,
So I don't think there's that much anymore of like, oh my God, like, but I mean, in the days, like, they used to see me doing stuff. And I mean, like, they just see me touch a lot of different things. So they just really get that understanding that, oh, dad does illustration for a living, and he draws some of the cool things he draws is comic books. But, they've seen me do a lot of different things too, right? So,
okay.
but they're drawing themselves
I was going to
also.
ask that. That was going to be
And
my next question. Have they started to follow in
yeah,
Papa's shoes there? Like,
yeah, they're drawing a lot now, and it seems like my eldest son, he's really getting into
yeah,
animation. And so I'm trying to give him some tips on that and letting him understand, like, hey, if you want to start to get good, you don't just draw the things you love, draw the things you don't
true,
love. You know what
sure.
I'm saying? Learn to draw trees, learn to draw, a lot of different things. So, I try to give him that, knowledge,
Okay,
ahead of time, get him started from young,
for sure. And I have a question here. Is Batman kicking the
Yep.
shit out of Chicken Devil on this cover? Oh,
No, I was thinking, should I do
yeah.
Chicken Devil? Then I said, nah. Then I said, nah, I'll save Chicken Devil for another
Cool, man.
time. Let the
I
story
never
get
thought
thing.
of
But I
that
think
matchup.
now, as I put this on, I
Oh,
think they
I
start to
see now. You got
recognize.
Batman and the Last
Oh,
Ronin. You got some turtle going on.
There we
I thought that was a turtle
go.
arm, but I couldn't figure out where his head. I thought he was looking the other way, but
Oh, that's so
Yeah,
cool, man. Thank you so much.
yeah, no worries.
Oh, so,
Let's have some
uh,
fun. Continue with some of that turtle action from
yeah, it
yesterday.
was, you know what? You draw an amazing turtle. I know that. I've seen some of your turtle stuff. What I was going to tell you earlier and I forgot was we've been speaking with J.M. Brandt, the author or one of the authors for the Swamp Dog book there. And
Yes,
he
sir.
was saying with us, and he said, as long as you're cool with it, because he actually, not compared to other books, he owns the rights to that book, right? So
Yes,
we can
yes.
actually make some posters of your Swamp Dog stuff.
Are you
Yes. So
serious?
we
He's saying it's okay to do
yes.
that?
So he said
Oh,
that. So he's been looking into it, and he started to print some, and we're gonna get it done up here as well too. So what he does with others, like the other guys who he has Swamp Dog exclusives with, and he's doing some of their work too,
yeah.
like Zhang Jiang there. That for every book
Yep.
that or every poster that gets printed or sold, they kick like some money towards your way. So
Oh,
as long as
wow.
you're cool with that, I mean, we'll work out the deal afterwards and stuff. Yeah, let's do that if you're cool.
Hey, you know what? I'm cool.
Mhm.
Whatever. I'm happy. For one, I'm happy that he
Yeah.
liked it,
he said it was
you
one of his
know?
Actually, he
favorites.
says it's one of his favorites.
He thought it was the most unique with that view coming
Yeah.
from inside the mouth.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Wow. That is
So
really
so I'm
cool.
I'm guessing then you haven't watched the interview then.
Yes, I
Oh,
did.
okay.
I did watch the interview. Um, and I did watch the interview.
That's okay. I'm
And
just bugging you.
it was cool that with the fact that, you know what I'm saying, he was feeling the
Yep.
cover. And that, I remember he was talking to he said he was talking to some guy in New York or
Uh-huh.
something. And the guy said he saw something similar in
Yeah,
Punisher. I
yeah,
don't
yeah. He
remember
said
that.
that too. Yeah,
But
he said there was a whole book done that style, and he thought maybe it was an homage to that. I believe so. Yeah.
uh,
Okay.
I
You
don't
you
know.
just proved
I've
it that
never
you
seen.
watched it. You proved it back.
But I definitely respect to do because Punisher is great. I don't remember an issue with
Yeah, I
Punisher
don't either.
with
Yeah.
that,
So
but you know what? The fact that people liked it, I'm just happy. you
cool.
know.
What else? Oh, I got a question for you, and I know I've asked this
Yeah.
before, but maybe you've changed your mind since I last asked you. Do you still want to be
Mhm.
freelance for the next little while, or would you be happy getting a permanent gig? Or if getting a permanent gig, does that mean you can't do this, the other stuff you like doing? Like,
No, I mean, right now, again, like I said, I've been working on the pound with
yeah,
Stefan, and just watching and seeing how that goes. Um,
I know you got your
but
kids book
my thing,
too. Like, I know you're working with that. Yeah,
yeah, but for me, but like, yeah, but for me, comic books is something that I've always loved, and any chance that I can get to do something, that's where it is for me. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
I just love comics. Did it go
No,
out
you're
again?
on. No, you're good. Yeah,
Oh yeah, you can still see
sure
me, right?
can.
Okay,
Don't go
beautiful,
and jinx it
awesome.
now.
Yeah.
Nope, I'm not going to jinx it. I'm not going to jinx it. Yeah, but like so there's a certain amount of freedom that I do like, being able to just do different things and not being locked down to any one particular thing. But I think there's still something good to be able to say, hey, I did a run on
Right.
something,
Yeah,
the Hugh Rookwood run of this, or you know what I'm
for sure.
saying? So, like for me right now, sky's the limit, so, you know, this COVID thing, even though, respectfully, I know for some people with the COVID thing, it's been tough, but I can't complain. I've had an amazing 2 years,
Yeah, I mean, I've had
um,
some. I mean, we've all had some challenges over the last couple of years, but if it wasn't for
yeah,
COVID, we wouldn't have had this stuff like going on right now. I would have never met you. Me and Tyler would have never started this
exactly.
business and that. So, I mean, not to sound cheesy or anything, but you got to take your lemons and make them into lemonade, right? So,
Well, that's it, right? And I just think that sometimes people, you just got to be about your grind, and I mean, I was blessed to, meet up with Justin and
yeah,
Stefan, and through that, you guys, and I owe a lot of that to Mike Ruth. He really put me on. He really did. He put me on. He was the one that said, "Hugh, come on down to Brandon," and because he said Stefan was going to be
right.
there, and I had met Justin. I had met Justin in Saskatoon, and he was doing the show in Brandon. And he said, "Hey man, you should come to our show." And I contacted him, and he said, "Yep, come on down." And after that, it's the rest is history.
And we have that kind of history too with Justin and Stefan and too. It's so bizarre how these connections have made. The
Justin's really good at
hmm
building his super teams.
Yeah, he just out of random chances and meetings, he meets these people and it just seems to, not everything's perfect, but it's like it's been a pretty powerful team that's been built over the last 2 years. So
Well, I mean, again, it's like, it's just these guys are just all you guys like are just amazing, 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 amazing people. Like, truly, it's been a blessing. And I try. I've always believed that when you meet good people, and you got to keep them close in your life. You got to keep
hmm
them close, and I've met some good. I've You guys are all been great. Like again, like Justin will hit me up, Stefan will hit me up, just be like, hey, how's everything going? How you
Yeah,
doing? You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah. I do.
How's
I would
you know?
never do that with anybody before, like not even like family. And I'm not because I'm like antisocial. It's just what are you gonna say, right? Nothing really changes.
Yeah,
But I mean, I know I'll send you a message every once in a while. I do that
exactly.
with Mike and like said Justin and Stefan, and a lot of times too with like with Stefan, and that's just a little bit of advice, some chit chat here and there. But it's yeah, I mean, I don't talk to anybody like that like I do you guys. So
It's just great, and it's one of the biggest trips this year. I mean, last year was going down to Winnipeg and seeing you
yeah,
guys. You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? Like that was
Well, I
huge.
think our very
You
first
know?
like physical meeting was, hey, how do I find my a parking underground parking spot for my
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
giant truck?
Let's take the roof off
Oh,
the
that was
truck to
cra-
make it fit.
Yeah.
oh that was
Yeah.
crazy, man. It was like,
Yeah.
oh boy. I thought, here the drama starts, man. But nah, we figured
We
it
did,
out.
we did.
We figured it out, and it was all good. So,
So when you, I know you took your boys to see the Spider-Man movie there a couple weeks ago when you were on the last tag
mhm.
show. What the family think? Did they enjoy it?
Yeah, they
Yeah,
loved it. I think they did a good job
I
with
think
it.
so.
I mean, they did a good job.
Yeah,
Um, the boys really enjoyed it, and I think they did a good they did a nice way of bringing back everybody.
yeah, I agree. Yeah,
And so yeah, there was it was good. We had a good time.
awesome.
We had a good time, definitely.
Did
But
dads
like,
bring the
yeah.
the movie popcorn, or did you sneak snacks in?
Oh, no, no, no. we
Oh,
paid.
okay.
We paid. It was an expensive night, but you know what? It was
That's
worth it.
cool.
You know.
What's it like in I know you're not in Calgary, but you're by Calgary, and what's the weather like there right now? Is it hot? Not hot, but
Well, we just had our like kind of cold snap um not too long ago, so it's been kind of warm. The weather has been really warm the last couple of
uh-huh.
days, so that's been really cool. We've been in the plus zones, +5, +7. It's going to drop back definitely,
You
but
guys got a lot of snow or?
um we had, and then it melted
Oh
off.
man.
Mm.
So we're actually not too shabby
Uh-huh.
right now,
That's cool.
snow wise, and
That's very cool.
so yeah, we're all right. It's I can't complain. It's been all right.
What's the school situation like with your boys? Are they in school? Are they doing remote or?
Yeah, so they're in school right now. Everything is still on for school with
Uh-huh.
them. Um, they're actually sending home um,
Kids like testing? Yeah, yeah.
tests. Yeah, they're actually sending home tests. I don't know if that's the same case for you
Not
guys.
yet here, but I have seen in
Yeah.
the newspapers and online and stuff, they're saying that in situations like that, for the kits that aren't being used, for the students to return them just because they're so short, right? So
Hmm.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Tyler had to
So
do one of those kits 2 weeks ago, I think, or a week and a half ago. It wasn't too
Yeah.
fun, so
No.
yeah.
oh, okay.
It came back negative, but still, it was still gross or not. But
Well, yeah, yeah, gross. Yes,
yeah.
but I think at least the inside of my nose is pretty clean now.
That's okay. When you get closer to mine and Hugh's age, the doctor comes at you at the other end, so.
It's like, oh boy, here we go. You hear the words. Just try to
That's right,
relax.
and the snap of a rubber glove. So
just try to relax.
that's good. That's good. I must
Oh
say,
man.
I am very much enjoying this art.
I always get so
Oh, thank you.
mesmerized by Hugh when he's drawing.
Yeah, and it amazes me how you can do it, and Mike does it too. You guys can talk, and like tell a great story and that, and do all your art at the same time. And it doesn't seem one doesn't seem to affect the other.
It's the signs of a
Well,
true
I'll tell you,
pro.
Mike is definitely better than me at that.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I will say on tags, like I kind of get lost in what we're
Uh-huh.
doing. And especially if, a lot of times when I come on tags, I don't really draw,
Right.
right off the bat. So because I don't know what I'm going to draw, it's like I'm kind of looking at the page and I'm kind of you know what I'm saying? And
Sure.
then I forget,
Brainstorming.
like, Hugh, you're live. You need to talk, right? You know.
Yeah. But at least
But
they're only telling you that. It's not like when they're telling Mike to move your picture or move your coaster all the time. So
oh yeah, oh yeah, Stefan is always usually Hugh up, Hugh up. Because I'll be just drawing it, and sometimes I'll just grab it and be like, just forget, hey, guy, you got to
sure.
keep this thing under a camera.
Sure. I get you.
But like, yeah, it's usually just one of those things. Like a lot of times, it's just, oh, we come to the show, okay, this is the theme, but I haven't really thought about what I was going to draw until we actually get on the show.
Uh-huh.
And then it's like, okay, Hugh, what are you going to draw? You know what? I'll draw this, and then we just get kind of going
Uh-huh.
from there.
For sure.
So you've done a lot of stuff on tags. Do you prefer doing like sketch covers on tags or full like portrait pieces or the coasters?
Um, I like.
I myself like it when you guys do like the coasters, just because they're
There's
people
a
are.
real challenge with them.
Yeah, it's almost like the people are almost challenging you guys to come up with an idea instead of like
Yep.
you're just getting a cover and you know what you're gonna put on it, right? So
Yep, that's exactly what I was gonna say. I was gonna say, like, yeah, I probably would say I enjoy doing the coasters the most. It's just one of those things, like you said, where it just comes up like, oh, draw, blah 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 blah, and it's like, oh, okay,
like the
you know,
Smurfs as the Matrix, like one of those
yeah,
type
that
things.
like,
That one turned out so well, and you went like the extra mile, and you did all their little techno glyphs in the back and everything, all their little symbols.
oh,
That was
had to,
so
man, had
impressive.
to, like,
And you did
and
two
I'll
of
tell
those
you,
in the
like,
time that others did just one. It was crazy how fast it happened.
well, I'll tell you, man. I got it was funny, but I got a lot of props for the that Matrix Smurf, eh?
Oh
Like
yeah,
afterwards, yeah, a lot of people were like, oh, yo, that Matrix Smurf turned out crazy, and I was like, but just that fun of doing these kind of cross, you know, like, hey, draw something as fun as the Smurf. It just puts your brain in a different mode.
Hmm.
And that's what I really love about it. Like that's so yeah, I definitely would say, yeah, if you're saying which ones, like which shows do you enjoy the most, I do enjoy the coaster shows because of that sort of just on the fly, don't know what you're going to get asked to do, and then you just do it, and you come up, and then you just see like Mike and me and Casey or whoever else is in, Carl, and then it's just like, and then just watching everybody do their take on something, you go, oh damn, that's crazy, like, so
we're showing the audience right now your Smurf coasters because I have them handy. So there,
Those are Hugh's special coasters. They've got the Chosen Studios on the back.
that's right.
the Matrix.
Yeah, that was a cool idea. I love doing the mashups of stuff. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
What would you
definitely
say is
fun.
like your weirdest request that you've had for the coasters?
Ooh, the weirdest request. I haven't thought about that. The weirdest request.
I know there's been a
Um,
lot. Anyone who
yeah,
hasn't seen them
that's
can see them in the tags sketchbook.
oh yeah, Justin was saying, or not Justin, Stefan was saying last night that they're getting ready to finish off the second volume of the tags book, and
yeah.
everything's in there. So your Smurf artwork will be in there, I assume.
That's gonna be wild.
Yeah.
You know what? I think I did. I did. I thought which one was a funny one was. I think it was for Linda, I believe, and she had me do Loki as a flying monkey
Oh, I remember
Oh
that.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
from
yeah,
the Oz.
yeah,
And I thought, Loki as a flying monkey. And I was like,
yeah.
okay. But again, you know, it turned out. So,
Yeah.
you know, again, that's what I like about the coasters too. Like you're saying, it's like, again, you don't have to be locked into any one particular style when you do it, right?
Right.
Like when I do the cartoon stuff, like Smurfs and stuff like that, I want that. I'm trying to get that authentic Smurf look. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
a
It has it.
stylized Smurf or anything like that. I'm trying to give you that authentic Smurf look, but in doing whatever it is that you're asking for it to do. You know?
Uh huh.
And that's how I look at it, right? So like a lot of the coasters, you just see like, oh, okay, this is what they're asking for. Okay, this will look good doing
Right. Yeah.
that thing. So
Sounds good. Yeah.
that's how I look. That's how I look at it. So
Do you want to give your camera a little nudge there or something?
oh,
You just missed your Skype right now.
oh, did it go off?
At the moment, yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Come on, camera, do a good thing. You guys can see. All right, let me try it back on again. Let's see
Sure.
what's going
Oh,
on.
you're good now. You're back.
Back on?
Yeah.
Good.
Live with Hugh Rookwood.
Whoa. So that the camera was maybe off for like a minute, and in that minute you did like so much more already.
Oh, seriously? It was
Yeah.
off for a minute? Oh, man.
No, well, maybe not a
Not
minute,
quite.
but yeah,
But
man, that looks amazing.
it's off for a minute still.
Not that long. So, I mean, obviously, you had a talent and a hobby of growing, or not growing, a talent of doing drawing and art while you were growing up in that. Like, were you always, like, right after high school, did you go into your technical training, like at an art college, or did you work first on just doing stuff, or
I'll
what
be
is
honest
the
with you.
background?
I'll be honest with you. Like,
That's all I expect
um,
from you.
I stayed away from cartooning. Cartooning was what I wanted to do pretty much like all my life, but it wasn't at the time. It wasn't looked upon as something that was,
Right.
like my parents came from the islands. You know what I'm saying? Like they didn't understand that kind of stuff, right? And so, me drawing, they didn't see where the money could be made in it.
Right. Well,
So it was
I'm a
kind of like,
hairdresser, so I know that feeling too. So,
yeah. So, so it's kind of like, oh, what are drawing cartoons isn't. And so I kind of stayed away from it for a long time. And, I was doing electronics for a while. And then I just said, and then I was like, nah, this isn't me.
right.
And then I took a year off, and my parents were like losing their minds. They were like, oh, that's it. He's, you know what I'm saying? He's
Yeah, yeah.
he's never going to go back to school. He's going to live on the streets, whatever, whatever, fears that parents have, right? And then I just said, yeah, I gotta go do animation, right? But I was out of school for a while, so I applied to Sheridan College, and that's in Oakville, Ontario.
Right.
And I just went into art fundamentals.
Is that school like the art school to go in Canada? Because when I heard you talk about
Yeah,
that, I've heard Mike talk about that, Casey, even
yeah.
Mike's wife, Erica, talks about that. I think also too, Aaron from
Hmm.
the F from Birds. I think he went there as well. Like, is that the art school to go to in Canada?
Well, at the time, I'm sure there's more art schools now, but at the time, yeah, definitely. I don't know how it's been now, but definitely at the time, Sheridan was the premier school to go for animation.
Okay.
And it was very hard to get in. And yeah, it was very hard to get in. And so I was like, well, Hugh, you know what? It's been a minute. Don't fool yourself by trying to get into animation. Go do art fundamentals, and kind of get yourself back into the game.
Uh-huh.
And and it was a good thing I did, because when I got into the course, I wasn't the worst, but I definitely wasn't the best. It was like, wow,
Oh wow.
boy, you need some work. There was some really talented people, and but it was great because that pushed me. And when I graduated, art fundies, I was up there. People, And then it was like that got me into animation, and then I did animation at Sheridan.
That's
And
cool. So you went to school to be an animator, then not a comic book artist.
can I be honest with you?
Yeah.
I went to I did animation, not necessarily to be an animator. I just wanted to learn. I said, hey man, let me learn animation. And if ever I want to animate something that I create, I know how to.
Okay.
It was never to go work for Disney or anything like that. I had no intentions of any of that. I just said, hey, I
Well, I'm
want to
sure your
learn,
parents are glad to hear that.
you know. But yeah. But yeah, that's really what it was at first, and so, it animation was great. Animation helped me to draw really, took my drawing level like, quantum leap my drawing levels,
Why is
learning
that?
structure,
What is the
learning to draw with structure and everything. It was awesome.
what is the main difference between like animated art compared to like comic book art? Because I think most people would think they're pretty much the same because when people think of animated art, they think it's many pictures making it up as one, and they think it's each one is just like a comic book page. So how does it
Well,
differ?
the closest thing to animation that's going on in like comic books is the storyboarding aspect of animation, right? When you're storyboarding your scenes and you're creating your scenes, it's just with animation, it's a little more involved. You know what I'm saying? Because you have to be like, okay, you're drawing the guy in the room, and then you have to do the next shot of him moving to the left, and you have to indicate he's moving to the left, and his
Yeah.
hand comes down a bit. So there's a little more in the way of micro movements, right? But it really is storyboarding. Like, the great thing about that's why I love comic books. It's the best medium. Like, it's when it's done correctly, it's and done good, it's like it'll move you like any movie or any novel.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's just an amazing medium. So, but in animation, when you're learning animation, you're learning to bring things to life.
Yeah.
You're learning to take a 2D image and bring it to life.
Well, you
And
definitely do that in the Rick and Morty cover, and also your Transformers Back to the Future cover. Because again, it is a 2D image, but when you look at it, you can see the depth and the
yeah,
dimension. So especially in the Rick and Morty. So
I for me, if anybody asks me what's my prime thing that I'm concerned with whenever I'm drawing, it's energy. Um, I like my imagery to have a certain kind of energy, and maybe that's also from the animation background or
right,
whatever. But I don't like I tr- you know every time I draw, I try to, okay, what's the story? You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
What's the story of the moment? And I'm always trying to think about that when I draw. I don't like stagnant poses. I don't like, just the shot of the
yeah.
guy,
You want
the classic shot and his fist is up and he's just looking at the camera
right,
like,
right.
why? Like,
Like
you know
even
what I'm
yeah, even
saying?
though the
Like,
picture is a still, you don't want it to be a static picture. So yeah,
yeah, I don't want it to, I want people to feel like in the moment, so that's one of the things I tell people is like when they say what about, like, how would you describe your drawing style? I like to say I don't try to capture poses, I try to capture
okay,
moments, you know and that's how I think of it. Like, okay, what's the moment of this illustration? And our teacher he was great. His name was Werner Zimmerman. Well, I should say was. He's
I was
still
gonna
alive
ask, is
and
his name
awesome.
not that now? Like,
Yeah, yeah, he's still alive and just still amazing, still ruckus. But he would always tell us, you have one shot to tell your story, and if you look at the classic comics, like the classic comics coming up, you know, when you're talking about the runs like you know, the Burns, the Bushimas, the Ramitas, Ditko,
yeah,
Kirby, and You know what I'm saying? When you're looking at those runs, like, you're looking at those 80s runs, early 90s and going back. And, if you look at the cover always had a piece of what was going on inside the story. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It's like,
Right.
it was like, you know, it was something dynamic, and it had a little piece of energy of what was going on, and that's what sold you. You're like, oh my God, look, Hulk is about to
Yeah.
fight Thor. You
It
know what
was
I'm
like a
saying?
it was like a movie poster was in the old days.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, and that's what I miss about comics now. Like, I look at a lot of these covers and I'm like, wow, like, you had your chance to say anything, and that's what you came up with.
I,
Like, you know
I
what I'm
think
saying?
that's why homage covers are so popular. Like not just the nostalgia
Yeah.
part, but it actually makes it like an old comic, right? So
Well, that's it. And I'm like, well, why? Like, why do you have to do an homage? And I'm not taking anything away from homage stuff, but why do you have to do an homage? Like, why can't you do that with, like, now with what you do? Like, that's the first thing. Like, when we're doing with Swamp Dogs, I was approached with Swamp Dogs, and it's like, hey, Swamp Dogs. So I said, well, what's the story about? First
yeah,
thing. I said, what's the
for
story
sure.
about? Send me the imagery. What's the story about? Let me take a read and see what's
Yep.
up. Because from there now, when we get to going to do the cover, yeah, it's zombies. It's you know, but what are you going to do?
Right.
You know, there's a lot of zombie stuff. There's a lot of this or that. Like, what are you going to do? What are you going to tell for your story? So I said, hey, I want to bring it back to that sort of classic. You know what
No,
I'm
I
saying?
got the reference for sure. Like you said, the classic like 50s or almost horror movie type of thing. Yeah.
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 Or even if you grew up with those Sam Raimi, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
Evil
Yeah.
Deads,
Yeah.
and
Exactly. Yeah.
you know you know
For
what I'm
sure.
saying. So I said, like, yo, here's my chance to kind of do something fun like that. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
definitely.
And I said, what better than to also, like, have a shot with the camera, you know, out of the mouth of the zombie,
Well,
And I don't think that I'm the first to do it. It's probably, yeah, it's definitely been done
well, apparently it
before,
was done with
but
the Punisher before that none of us have ever saw it
yeah,
though. So
you know what
yeah.
I'm saying? But hey, what can you do and do it and make it yours? You know what I'm saying?
Well,
And unique to you. So
last
that's what we
last night
did.
on the tag show, Mike was kind of talking about this neat concept where I think he said it was in an art class or maybe in another sketch show that he did where everyone would get to take a look at like a classic cover or something like
Yeah.
that. But you wouldn't draw that. You had to draw the very next minute after that.
Oh yeah,
So that's a really neat idea. So you guys
that
might be
is
doing that pretty soon. So
yeah, that's brilliant. That is brilliant. Like, with any of the classic stuff for sure. Like, I'm for me, it's I don't follow many books now. Like, I don't get a chance to read a lot of new stuff.
right.
Hmm.
Just my time doesn't allow me to read a lot of new stuff. But like, I got a nice classic collection of stuff that I'm just always
Hmm.
going back to and just pulling from. There's just an energy, like, I'm a big John Buscema man. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
he
That's
was
my
just
stuff too. Yeah.
he was just that dude for me, man. John Buscema, and then his brother Sal. Like,
Yeah.
like, you know, Sal's run on the Hulk is still, my favorite run on the Hulk. Like, you know,
I
I
liked
just
Sal's stuff on the Spider-Man.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
like
did. I think he pulled a great, you know, Spider-Man. Had a great Spider-Man run.
yeah.
And but just the energy. Like, I'm really drawn to the guys who have a lot of energy in their drawing. And when you looked at the Buscema's work, it's like, when somebody got hit, you just felt the power.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
like, sometimes what was fun, like, you just see, the Hulk hit something, and all you'd see Sal just draw like 2 feet at the top of the panel. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah,
Hulk hit him so hard, he's
yeah.
just flying right off the panel. Like, that stuff is like lost art. Like, I don't see that anymore. And I'm just like, man, like, I remember one time I was reading a Thor. I was looking at a Thor. I forget who it was that was drawing Thor. No disrespect to the artist, but he had Thor clapping somebody with his hammer across his face, and I was like, really? Like Thor's hitting this dude across his face, and it's like the guy's just going arg. I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
man, if you look back at the old comics, it's like a lot of times when Thor was fisticuffing with somebody, he wasn't even pulling out the hammer. And if he
No,
had to pull out the hammer, then it was really on. You know what I'm saying?
for sure.
And I don't know. It's just different now. It's
Yeah.
just different.
Don't worry, you don't sound like the old man on the porch. You're okay.
But yeah, that's where I get my energy from. A lot of the old school guys,
Well,
man. They're
you definitely bring the energy all the time. I know that's probably the third of your characteristics that people know you for. So
well, it's all again, it's just, when I'm around people that, I care about, and let's have some fun.
for
you
sure.
know,
Well, I think
let's have some
that
fun.
was one of the things people kept saying the most at the con is they'd go and they get their books signed or whatever from you guys, and they'd make their way over and they'd pass us, and we'd be showing stuff off, and there'd be some ear covers, and be like, oh yeah, we just saw that Hugh Rookwood, and he's got a lot of energy. He's a pretty exciting dude. I said, yeah, I know. We only met him yesterday. It feels like we've known him for a lot longer.
Well, I never forget that the people, the fans is why I'm there.
Right.
You
Yep.
know, and I try to engage, and I want them to feel comfortable and have fun. Like, they're the reason why I'm there, and I never forget that. Like, I mean, if they didn't come and support and buy the stuff, you know,
For sure.
I wouldn't be there. Like, and I just don't forget that. It never matters to me how big I get. I'll never forget that. Like, the fans are everything to me. So, when I see them in my brain, I'm like, man, I just want people to have a good time,
I do.
and leave with an experience, and say, yo, in the end, they say, yo, that cat Hugh, he's really a good cat,
And that's kind of that which leads into my next segue. Yeah, segue. We usually do these things for about an hour, and it looks like you're almost finished there. So, how would you like to kind of give your last minute thoughts on anything, and for sure provide everybody all the information where they can reach you and check out your work.
Okay, well, last thoughts on
Anything
anything?
you want, man. This is your
Um,
table.
well, well, first and foremost, I want to say, thank you to everybody for the support. For me, Nat Daddy, Big Country Comics. Things are getting sketchy. You know, the people is why we do this, and I appreciate it. For all upcoming artists, just like, if this is what you want to do, then just be about it. Draw every day, and draw the things you like and draw the things you don't like. That's how you get
Right.
better, right? But yeah, the comic books is great. Blessed to do it, and yeah, keep looking out for me and Nat Daddy, Big Country Comics. We got a lot of cool stuff that's going to be coming.
Yeah.
Um, you can find me at Hugh Rookwood Art on Instagram. Chosen Studios, that's Chozen
Right.
Studios, on Instagram. You can also find me at my main site is www.chosenstudios.com.
Again, with a Z, because we're Canadians, not a Z. A
Yep,
Z.
that's with the Z, right? Chosen, right? And yeah, like, follow me on all those platforms. Try to build up that whole social media presence.
For sure.
And also, what I would like to do with you guys, if you want,
Uh-huh.
this piece here, if you want, I will continue to draw it up, finish it up,
Yeah.
put a little bit of tone on it or whatever. And if you want to do a contest or something,
Yeah, we will do a
uh,
contest of some sort, and we will for
yeah,
sure post the final picture of it too to get some interest. I don't want to
yeah,
say
and you
what the
can,
contest is yet because this is a pretty special piece, so I want to make sure we put some thought into it.
yeah, you can give it, yeah, you can give it as a gift to somebody. So
Sure.
you know, who wins. So yeah, I'll finish it up
Okay.
and I'll finish it up and then I'll show you
Yeah.
the finished piece. I'll throw some tone and stuff like that so I can pull out the
Okay.
elements, some highlights, a little bit of building in the
Sounds
background,
good.
and yeah, and you can do whatever, and I'll send that off to you
Yeah.
guys, and you guys can
That sounds awesome, Hugh. So, you stick around. We're just gonna sign off on the video and stop recording, but we'll
yep.
talk to you for a few more minutes. So,
Oh yeah,
again, I
definitely.
just want to thank you for coming on. You were actually like one of the first people we wanted to interview, like even at the show back in Winnipeg in October. It just never happened. It was so busy and hectic. So this was long overdue. I appreciate you. You could have worked on a commission that you had to do, but you took time to do something special for us. So again, thank you, Hugh. Everybody check out Hugh. It's Hugh Rookwood. He's the bomb.
Thanks, guys. Not daddy,
That's it.
baby.